Don't tell me that I'm a weirdo because I'm upset about this. I'm just sick of dishonorable trash.
Supreme Cobra Commander!
You're failures! You think I'd sell my family out like you, dirtbag? Speaking of tiny groups controlling us and attacking us, we knew this back at the time. We knew they were mad at Gaddafi spending tens of billions every decade of his oil money when oil prices were high to do work projects, water treatment, mining operations, roads, you name it, tapping aquifers so people got good water, building infrastructure all over Africa. I mean, he's just a hero there. And so they set him up, took him out, put al-Qaeda in. Now it's a failed state. And now we have the emails proving that they did not want him to use his 143 tons of gold. Jakari Jackson filed a report for the radio today on this, and he's really dug into this. So, Jakari, to me, this is just smoking gun, but you won't see this on the news.
Yeah, just like you said, regardless of what you think about Gaddafi, you know, they take the guy out, they put al-Qaeda in, and it's a failed state now. Is it really better off than it was when Gaddafi was in charge? But we see this article from Kurt Nimmo today, and it has declassified emails sent on April 2nd, 2011 to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, reveals the invasion of Libya was launched to prevent Muammar Gaddafi from establishing a pan-African currency based on Libya's gold. And it says he has 143 tons of gold, and that's about $7 billion, as well as silver. So we see, Alex, he's trying to get away from the French franc, and goes on to report that Sarkozy, who was president of France at the time, wasn't very happy about this. They didn't want him to get on his own currency and be pretty much self-sufficient. As you say, he's trying to improve the area in the ways that he can. Of course, you know, he's done some bad things in the past, but he's trying to move Africa, Libya into a better area. And he's encouraging other places in Africa as well as the Middle East to abandon the French franc and get on his system of the gold-based currency.
Exactly, because if you have control of the currency, you can do anything you want. They can start trading amongst the African countries and build themselves up, because any IMF or World Bank money they get has to be spent where the IMF and World Bank says, and that's always to boondoggles to their own companies. These multinationals give Western tax money to themselves, not to Africa, not to Asia, not to Latin America. It's done as political control. Gaddafi was breaking that control. Saddam was going to a gold standard and trying to create a pan-Arab currency. That has also been declassified as the main reason they took him out. I mean, this is about global government.
Oh, yeah, it's complete control, because he has large shares of oil out there. They said he is going to move away from a U.S. currency to his own gold currency. And like you said, when we got off our gold currency here in the United States, well, that's when things really went off the rails. He recognizes this. He tries to change it, and everybody says, no, 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 you're going to stay on this currency, and then eventually it led to attack that we all know here today.
And the worst part is, yeah, he fought back militarily against things he saw that were wrong in the 70s and 80s, and I'm not defending it. But you can see both sides. But he came in for 8 years to the West, made deals, signed treaties, followed everything, let the U.S., let France, let Europe in, let them build hotels, let them have infrastructure, paid them handsomely, invested his money in Goldman Sachs, did what he was told, said, but I want to build up Africa. He met with Obama. He met with Sarkozy. He thought they were his friends. He was shocked when they double-crossed him. And he kept saying, why are you bringing al-Qaeda in? They're going to kill all the blacks. They're racist. He said, they're going to bring extremists in and invade Europe. And they came and killed him. Yes. I mean, that is so dastardly. I mean, I got to say it. Gaddafi, compared to our leaders, actually was a good guy. I'm not saying he was a good guy, but, you know, at least in his older age, he lived in a tent, folks. They showed his palace. It looked like something that a, you know, South Austin billionaire would, you know, have. It was not very fancy. Little 10-foot wall around it. Kind of looked like Louis Farrakhan's compound or something. It was not big. I mean, he was literally spending hundreds of billions of dollars on the people. He was really, you talk about Bernie Sanders socialism, he was delivering it all. Yeah. And it's just unprecedented, simply amazing. Jakari, I want to talk more about this back in 70 seconds. Stay with us. But Jakari Jackson's here. The full article breaks it all down. You know, we knew this from our experts, our insiders, folks that knew Gaddafi. We knew what he was doing. We knew about the African Union he created that was a counter, you know, to the fact that they used disunity. But people could sit back and say, Africa's failed because, you know, the people there just are backwards or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa 200 years ago, it was just about like what America was. And it was Wild Wild West. There were some civilizations, were some groups. They got taken out by Western groups, colonialists who wanted to keep the level of development down for political control to get resources cheaply and not let people organize. You read the British East India Company, the Dutch East India Company dispatches from India. It's the same story. Same story with the takeover of China. It's the globalist models done here to a softer respect with the carbon taxes they want to selectively shut down competition. It's just like with what's happening with the big unions and people wanting higher wages. Obama-affiliated groups with a new higher wage will be given waivers from that and an unfair competition. So this is how they do it. And Africa has 100% been suppressed. It has been played off. They send in mercenaries to destabilize countries every time people don't play ball. They kill African leaders. And now they've been caught doing it with Gaddafi. What a war crime. And Hillary has said, you know, that Syria's going the way she wanted. And the State Department came out last year and said that they've brought peace to Syria, Jakari.
I think they have a completely different definition of peace. I guess it's war is peace is the way they're looking at it. Of course, Syria is not a peaceful nation. We can see that by the record number of Syrians fleeing the country. So if people were safe there in Syria, they wouldn't be leaving. But the thing that nobody ever wants to talk about when we address places like Syria is how U.S. foreign policy is a contributor, not the contributor, but a very large contributor to why people want to leave Syria, why people want to leave Yemen, Pakistan.
I would call it the prime driver. I mean, I'd say it's 80% of it is the whole Western attack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. It definitely is quite significant, but, you know, they never want to address that. They want to get on TV and say, use more of your tax dollars to help us fix this situation, but they never want to admit that they're the ones themselves, being the U.S. foreign policy, that made the situation the way it is in the first place. I
agree with you, and it is U.S. foreign policy because we let the globalists hijack our country, but it really is, at the end of the day, globalist foreign policy where we get the blame. But we do deserve it. We've let it happen.
Yeah. You know, people will go out in the streets, say, let's bring everybody here, but nobody wants to be proactive. You know, bringing people here is a half measure. You can bring everybody here that you want. That's not going to stop what's going on overseas. And because you can't criticize the president or even bring up the things that he does, all these things will continue to happen, not just in the Middle East, but in Mexico, where they're running guns down there with Operation Fast and Furious, and many other places all around the world.
And now it's going to be the first woman president. And I'd love to have a lot of great women as president. I could care less, man, woman, black, white. Literally, just let them be a patriot. But it's going to be, they already say, even Bernie Sanders, you know, criticizes Hillary. They say he's sexist. I mean, it is just going to be women in America, not all of them, but a big segment, will do whatever. They don't care what she does because women are doing it. That is the dumbest thinking in the world.
Well, it's the same thing with presidential candidates or the president himself, whether it be a Democrat or it's a Republican. If it's their guy can do anything that he wants any time of the day. He can gut the Constitution. He can infringe on your civil rights. But as long as it's their guy, the Republican, the Democrat, the man, the woman, they can do no wrong.
Exactly. And folks get confused who are kind of babies to politics when they hear the show over the years going, wait, you used to be against Bush, but now you're against Obama. You're just against everything. No. The globalists have an agenda. It doesn't matter who you get in office. It just keeps getting worse. I'm pointing out that we're in a controlled paradigm. I mean, it's real simple.
Oh, yeah. But people don't understand that. You know, they'll get tired of Obama, then they'll vote for the Republican or vice versa. And that's how the situation continues because nobody wants to step back and really look that these guys are getting funded by the same people. They're
exactly. And so for the first time, Trump is not being funded by these people. I mean, I hope he's for real if he gets in, but I don't know. We'll just see. The main answer is vote with our dollars, vote with our actions, get involved locally, and just stop complying with the globalists because what they're doing is illegitimate. Jakari Jackson, thanks for reporting on this for us.
Thank you.
That's Jakari Jackson with InfoWars Nightly News. Clean, toxic-free body is the foundation of true health. Introducing Deep Cleanse by InfoWarsLife.com, a scientifically formulated blend of nanocolloidal zeolites and organic ingredients that aid the body in cleansing chemicals and toxic metals. We use only the highest quality organic herbs backed by serious research, and we still bring it to you at the best price out there. If you wish to find Deep Cleanse and experience the all-in-one cleansing, visit InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.